Oh boy. All right. Well, hi friends. Doc South here. I'm going to try take number 3 on this. Oh, sorry, it's moving a little. There you go. On this video I want to do about Memorial Motor Madness. I, uh, I've done two that came out perfectly good, but I can't get them to download right. They're driving me nuts. But I think we're in good shape now. Oh gosh, I hope so. So let's get cooking. This excuse me, this coming Sunday, the 27th of May, the Hackettstown Rotary Club will be once again doing their annual Memorial Motor Madness over at the what I call the M&M factory. I know it's Mars Chocolate World headquarters, but it's where they make M&Ms, even the ones with the little peanuts in them and stuff. Yeah, yeah, it's all there. Ooh, it smells good, and they the folks at Mars Chocolate are nice enough to let us for the past number of years now, almost 2.5 decades. They've let us do this Memorial Motor Madness car show in two of their major parking lots. It's pretty nice of them to do this. I was just going to say though, when it's the biggest car show I do every year. I've never done anything much bigger than this one, and they. It's funny though because it has an interesting history. I think, which I think is when if you're there this weekend and you're walking amongst all those cars and the food courts and the vendors row, and gosh, there's all these trophies and car dealerships with some of their cars on display, and it's a big deal. It's like a carnival for hot rods. You'll see. You may not realize that actually it started out very, very tiny. It was again about 24 years ago. A fellow named Ed Hageman and a few of his friends. I guess Ed had lost his wife at that point to cancer. That or she was very ill, terminally ill with it. I'm not sure of the exact details. All I know is Ed considered cancer the enemy. And Ed was one of these people to go after the enemy. You get right down to it. Back during World War II, right after Pearl Harbor, I think the day after Pearl Harbor, he was down, enlisting in the Navy, him and about 1 million other people, and good people. And he was a fighter. And he decided, he was going to do what he could to help the local cancer society. Evidently, they were helping him or had helped him and his wife. And so he decided the best thing he could think of to do was to do a car show and raise money and then give the proceeds to the cancer society. And that's just what he did. I had heard about the car show coming up and that it was, and its purpose. And I volunteered. And I got a hold of Ed and I said, well, Ed, what do you say? Can you use a DJ? And he said, yeah, come on down. And that was the start of what I consider to be a nice friendship, a wonderful person. Oh gosh, what a great guy. And he and the others, we arranged. I forget just what day it was. I'm not sure that the first one was on Memorial Day weekend. I'm not entirely sure. It may have just been some Sunday in summer. I'd have to really. I don't know where I could look that up. But we had a show. We took over one parking lot over at that point it was M&M's, and very few cars came. I don't think it was much more than 20, maybe 40 tops. It was not a big show. I remember as I'm DJing, I said, "Oy, not we got to do better than this." But it was a start, and that's sort of how Ed looked at it. The next year, well, there was maybe 200 cars, and then more and more. Pretty soon they needed the other lot. My speakers, which are pretty good speakers, were almost running full tilt. I mean, people walking near them where they're, oh God, yeah, oh, and then people far away are hollering, I can't hear you, what are you doing, louder, and well, eventually they had to get a sound man. Yeah, the place, it just kept growing. It wound up filling that one lot, one big lot, and now there was a second lot they decided to fill. And a guy had one speaker pointed to the back to the original lot, one to the other lot near the street. Ay, ay, ay. They, I think, it just kept growing, and this thing went nuts. I think eventually they got in like a bit of some food vendors started seeing that this was a good thing, so they got in on it. And we eventually, I guess, had a vendor's row of people selling car-related items, sort of like a flea market for car buffs, out along the side of the parking lot behind me, along High Street in Route 517 in Hackettstown. And it all got moved to Memorial Day weekend, which was good. And originally it may have been Memorial Day Sunday, the Sunday before Memorial Day. Anyway, whatever, it just started to grow and grow and grow. And it was all basically started with a very simple premise. Put the kibosh on cancer, if at all possible. And all these things started getting added to it. It was almost like kind of like a potluck dinner for your heart. I mean, people were saying, "Oh, I know, I know some wrestlers. We'll have them come and do autographs." Someone else said, "Hey, could I bring my hot dog wagon?" Another, "Hey, in other words, it just kept growing, and it was pretty darn cool." Eventually, Ed got older and a little more frail, and frail might not be the word for it because he was quite the mover and shaker, but still he was getting up there, and I think he was taking ill, and the Hackettstown Rotary Club took it over with Ed's blessing, of course, and it just from there the Hackettstown Rotary, they run it like like a well-oiled top. I mean, everyone's got a clipboard, and they're parking lot 3, parking lot 2, all this stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool to see how they do, and they run it very carefully, and they do a fine job. And now I don't know how many cars come, but boy, there's a lot. And people make a point of they'll see me sometimes in the early spring, and or even late winter. Hey, is the Memorial Motor Men? Yeah, I think so. And through this all, I've basically been the DJ for, I guess, all 24 of those years, and very honored to be part of it. Gosh, it's something to do. Of course, now this has actually been a long-standing tradition. Right around noontime, we do the national anthem. Usually Whitney Houston doing her rendition. When she's done, everyone runs to their hot rods, fires them up, and revs their engines. We have like a rev up, which is kind of fun to see. Loud. Oh yeah, yeah. Some of those cars, mufflers are what, a muffler? I don't need a muffler. Yeah, so yeah, and it's just amazing. People just come and walk around and look and talk and schmooze and drool, and eventually trophies are given out, and well, it's just and of course, I try to play all the great car songs I can find, patriotic songs. I'm always on the lookout for them. Found some doozies for this year. I want to run them by the Rotary Club, but we got, I think I'll be playing Johnny Cash's Talkin' Vietnam, Singing in Vietnam, Talkin' Blues, a wonderful song. Got Connie Francis singing God Bless America to a whole bunch of soldiers in Vietnam back in the day. We have lots of good stuff. Ragged Old Flag. I know one day I remember, it was a few years back now, a fella come up to me right after we started up the day, and I was playing some songs, and he comes over. He's all tall, thin guy, wiry, and looked like maybe one day, at one time or another, he was a sergeant with a whole lot of, whole lot of stripes on that arm of his. And he's looking at me. He says, "What's the matter with you? Why didn't you play the national anthem to start? Big event like this, Memorial Day weekend? Go." And I'm thinking, I said, "Sir, don't call me sir." Well, so yeah, he was a sergeant. I said, I said, I speak up, man. Okay, yes, sir. No, don't call. Okay. Well, in any case, I explained to him. I said, "Well, we're going to play it at noon." "Why do you want to play it at noon?" I said, "We got more people then." "Oh, yeah, that's a good idea." I said, "Look, if you want, I'm happy to play some nice patriotic song for you. Would you like something?" He says, "Well, yeah, but I kind of wanted to hear that anthem." I said, "Well, the anthem goes at noon. You can hang around. There's plenty of cars to look at. Let me find something." So I found that. Oh, thank heaven, I found it relatively quick. Johnny Cash's "Ragged Old Flag," and I played it for him. He comes back. I don't think I've ever seen tears in a sergeant's eyes. Yeah, and he said, "Oh man," he says, "that was a good song." Oh, okay. Shook my hand, walked off a big grin, and yeah, for the anthem, he was there. Oh yeah, he stayed. Built he had like a little camp. No, not really, but he was pretty. That's what we try to do. We try to honor our soldiers. I know I put out a jar for. To collect money for phone cards for the soldiers. There's an organization that gets phone cards to deployed soldiers. And usually I stick the jar out, and I tell people it's a tip jar for the soldiers. And by the end of the day, I got quite a bit I can send out. That's pretty neat. Mars Chocolate, I know one year they all of a sudden their maintenance crew come out with a whole bunch of these like ice cream wagons handing out Dove bars. Yeah, huh? Yeah, and I don't know. There's just so much, and what really I think I find so cool is that it all started one guy saying, "I've had it with cancer. I'm going to fight back." Ed Hageman, and from there it just. Yep. There's another fellow there I should mention, Tom Neckel. You'll see him, if you go, you'll see him sitting out in the hot sun. Finally talked him into using sunscreen. And he's selling raffle tickets. And the money he raises for that, I believe, goes to the cancer treatment center at the Hackettstown Medical Center. Again, I might have the name of the hospital in town. It goes to the Joan Neckel Cancer Treatment Center. Tom lost his wife to cancer, so he's there fighting back. You see what I mean? It's all of a sudden, this thing has just grown so pleasantly out of control. And by the end of the day, everyone's got a big grin on their face. It's usually done by about 3 or so, earlier if it's going to storm. And everybody just has themselves a ball. I'm sure we'll have a good turnout this week, and maybe you can make it, huh? Right. Anyway, again, that's the best I can say. I'm looking forward to it. I always consider it an honor, and just very tickled. So, and the money I make on that, I always send that off to the phone card charity. Yeah, I find that best. It wouldn't seem right to take it on Memorial Day after everybody's done so much to serve. I think it's best. So, all in all, I'm looking forward to it. We've got plenty of songs. I don't think we're going to run out. I maybe should get them in order a little better, but we'll be fine. Oh, and we have a great sound man too. He comes there and he puts in a really good. You don't have just two speakers killing the poor people up front and people in the back can't hear. He's got the place wired for sound. It's really neat to see. Okay, that's it, friends. I'll see you. It'll be May 27th, this coming Sunday, High Street in Hackettstown at Mars Chocolate. Okay, we'll see you. And again, many thanks to the Rotary Club for having me there. I certainly appreciate it. Okay, we'll see you later. Bye now. Thank you. God bless.